These are the steps I took to protect my credit score and my minor child's credit score from getting trashed by my toxic ex-in-laws. If you watched my toxic ex-in-law video series, I talked about how because my ex-father-in-law has the exact same name as his own son, my ex-husband, he was able to take out multiple credit cards and car loans in his son's name from as early as when he was in 10th grade, effectively destroying his credit by the time he was an adult. First thing I did was I discontinued the tradition of naming my child after his father and grandfather and great-grandfather. He has the same last name, but he does not have the same first or middle name. Next thing I did was freeze my son's credit so that no new lines of credit could be opened. I also signed up for monitoring his credit so that if there were any changes to his credit report, I would be notified immediately. This is all done through Experian, which is this website right here. This is what I use to monitor my own credit, and I also used it recently to file a dispute, which I'm going to walk you through the process, because even though I have been divorced for going on 15 years now, I've been happily remarried for over 11 years. We live in an entirely different part of the country, a different state. For some godforsaken reason, my toxic ex-in-law's address showed up on my credit report as an associated address of mine. This is a home address of theirs that I have literally never stepped foot at this home. We have been no contact since before the home was built. I have no reason why within the last year it's showed up on my credit report as an associated address. And because they have such a terrible financial history, a terrible credit, who knows if they have a lien on this property. I didn't want anything of theirs associated with my excellent credit. I immediately filed a dispute, and this is how you do that. Go to the Experian homepage or the app. I think the app is easier to use. You scroll down to disputes. It might be under credit, and you file a dispute online. You have to sign in first. This shows you like what it looks like. Let me get myself out of the way. That's what it looks like. You sign in, prepare and submit your dispute. Literally, it's so easy. Click submit dispute. You put all the information in. For me, it was an address dispute, so I put in the information that this was not my address. I never lived there. I've never lived in this entire state. It was a totally different state. On the bottom here, it shows you other FAQs. Once you submit the dispute, you get an email confirmation showing that the dispute is open, and it'll take about 30 days. This wasn't the first dispute I had opened. I had opened up two previously, but those were for really just updates. It was for my student loan and my car loan to show that it had been paid in full and should be closed out. Normally that stuff would drop off, but for some reason those two were taking like months. And so finally I just updated a dispute to show that the account was resolved and should be closed. So that was more just like an update. For this specific, it was an error. Like it was just totally erroneous. The address had nothing to do with me. I'd never lived at that address, so I was curious to see how long it would take. Later that same day, I got a progress notification showing that they're almost done, which I thought was crazy fast. And then shockingly, the very next day, I got another notification that they have the results of my dispute. They removed the address from my credit report and deleted it. It shows there that it was a single family home. It said on the bottom here that I have a right to contact the entity. If they had found like not in my favor and they kept the address on my report as an associated address, then I definitely would have contacted whatever entity that provided this information because it's completely wrong. Like I said, my ex-in-laws were terrible with money. They had like debt consolidation and collections. So it could have been any number of creditors that provided their address to any known associates of theirs, trying to, probably get paid their debt. So who knows, but fortunately it was removed. So I definitely recommend, if you have anyone in your family who is terrible with money and has a history of opening up credit cards and car loans and lines of credit in other people's names, monitor your credit, monitor your children's credit, and make sure that they are not doing that to your social security number.